A lot of times, sometimes people don't believe that they have a voice, and they miss that. And we don't know the story, but they might be able to share it with us, and we can help them along that way. And by doing so, we have a voice for them to let them know that they've not been forgotten. God hasn't forgotten them, and we haven't either. Well, the mission of the Salvation Army has been able to always share and to meet needs without discrimination. And our whole goal is to reach out to those in this community that will continue to need help. And we're going to be able to do that through shelter, and especially for those that are homeless. Our bed space at our current facilities, 36 beds. We were going to be in this new facility on 100 North 9th Street. Will be increased up to 72 beds. We'll be able to double that space for men and women for shelter beds. This will be the shelter. They'll enter from this door over here. They'll come in. There'll be the staff office space where the Salvation Army sign is. Currently will be an office space as men and women come in for the shelter. And then the ladies' shelter will be off to the right from this direction looking here. So the ladies will have their area to the right, their own living space, will have their own bathrooms, their own showers, their own laundry facilities. It will be all over on this side. As the men come into the office, then they'll be buzzed into the men's section will be on this side, which then they'll have their own living space over here as well. They'll have their bathrooms, shelter, laundry facilities connected there. So that will be one whole part of that whole wing down here on the first floor. From this wall here, as people come in off the main entrance, they'll walk down this hallway, and this will now be where the 3 exam rooms will be in this section here for the offices, for coming to meet a doctor and a nurse. That will be in this area, so they'll have their own. There'll be a waiting area as they come in, so there'll be a nice waiting area for them, and then as the nurse or the doctor is available, then they'll be brought into their different exam rooms in this area right in here. The great thing is that I've had to partner with different groups with the funding that we just talked about to renovate the building. It didn't come with FF&E, which is finishings and furnishings and kind of things. So great groups have been like from the blood bank through for the hospital, St. John's, other people that have had different assistance kind of things. I've been trying to help fill what we're going to be able to put in the facility without having to pay cost for that. So these are gifts in kind of things that we would use, but to be able to put in the new building once it gets renovated. But in this area right here will be where the chapel will be, which is a big key component for the Salvation Army. We'll be able to have over 100 seats in the chapel, but we believe that there's a lot of things that goes into someone's recovery and through their life. The Salvation Army is excited for the fact that we continue to reach out, and our goal through the holidays, through Thanksgiving and Christmas, a lot of families don't have that opportunity, don't have an opportunity to maybe experience things that maybe a lot of us have taken for granted. So we're actually hope for them. And then as we provide this year, but even next year as this facility continues to grow, we talked about the pantry, we'll be able to provide more food assistance to families. We'll be able to provide adoptive families where kids get adopted out for Christmas, so they'll get clothing, we'll get gifts, they'll get a food basket. So there's a lot of things that will be happening, but that's a big component of the Salvation Army as we reach out to families, especially through the difficult times when it gets colder. We're still here thinking about them as well. Right now, our kitchen that we have at on 6th Street maybe consists of a 10 by 12 space. So it's really not that big. So a kitchen would be like that. This will be a bigger kitchen that will be able to help serve obviously more meals that we need to with the shelter expanding, but also through senior services, through other programs. We'll have a bigger kitchen, which would be great to be able to serve more meals, but we'll also be able to have a bigger pantry, as we talked about, that will have a walk-in freezer, which also have a bigger refrigerator. So in doing so, we'll be able to capacity be a lot larger to store more food, but to be able to give out more food. That's the whole thing. Not to store it to keep it, but to store it to give it away. What we give, what comes to the Salvation Army, we give it right back out to this community, and excited to do so. And I think the potential of serving more people and helping more people is a great thing that the Salvation Army is looking forward to in this new facility. The second floor would love to have that opportunity to have a family shelter. Right now, if mom and dad and kids come into town or struggling through things, there's no place for them to go. Dad will have to go to a men's shelter, and mom and maybe the kids could have another different place. But families have a hard enough time the way it is right now without having a structure where we have to split them up. But we would like to be able to provide 4 family units on the 2nd floor so we can keep mom and dad and the kids in that family structure together to go through the emergency kind of shelter in that response in that time. Also on that floor, we'd like to have some youth programming, because we have youth that are coming into the facility as well right now, but to have some place that they can have fun and to continue to build and grow upon that, so there'll be an area for them to interact and have that on the 2nd floor as well. 3rd floor will be phase 3. The potential, and I think is great, and the city and a lot of other individuals are talking about some things right now, but what I'd like to see on that 3rd floor, potentially, maybe we could have efficiency apartments. We're working with veterans right now. We're working with a lot of veterans of getting them housing or keeping them in their housing, but to provide some affordable housing. Maybe we can build efficiency apartments on that 3rd floor or expand shelter space as well if we needed to. Well, this is so important for the fact that need knows no season within the Salvation Army. There's continual need here, and we've continued to have a lot of people that have come to our 530 North 6th Street, and our shelter space has always been full. We've had to unfortunately turn people away from shelter beds, so in doing this we'll be able to increase, we'll be able to help meet that need here in the community. So it's going to give us an opportunity to make the next step to help people along their way.